Huge shout out to the first comment on my last video. It means the world to me, and I'm impressed at how fast you guys been commenting. It really helps me a lot. Alright guys, so I'm about to show you what happens when I turn on the frame generation for both Nvidia and AMD, which is these two options right here. Now this tends to double up your FPS by a lot in exchange for input delay, whether a control or mouse and keyboard. Now for the mouse and keyboard part, I don't know too much on it because I only use controller, but I assume you get a slight input delay also on mouse and keyboard too. Now I will give you my full conclusion whether I recommend this option or not almost at the end of the video, so make sure to watch the whole video, that way you see the results. Also try to put the latency meter right there for the system to check any input delay or whatever, but it didn't let me put it, so I apologize for that. I'm using the 4090 GPU and the 9800 X3D CPU. Let's get at least to 30 likes on this video because it really helps me get into the algorithm, that way I could keep growing. And for the new people that like content like this, make sure to subscribe. So this is how it looks with the frame generation turned off. So right now I'm getting about 300 or so, you know, with 1440p, graphics all low right there. And this is Warzone BR on the big map. Now this is what I'm getting right here on Resurgence. Let me see if I could hide right here, that way they don't kill me. See, since this map is a little bit smaller, I'm getting already about 400 with the frame generation turned off. 390, 400. It just depends pretty much where you at on the map. When it comes to multiplayer, this is what I get. This is even a smaller map, but I get almost the same as Resurgence. So yeah, I'm getting about 400 here. There we go. And this thing feels smooth though, I'm not gonna lie. All I've been playing is Warzone and shit. I forgot how multiplayer feels. Nice. So yeah, it's about almost the same as Rebirth though. 390, 400. And this is with the option turned off. Now remember, all this test is being run at 1440p low resolution, and if I were to put it to 1080p with it off, then I will get even more FPS. So right now I'm about to use the same exact settings that I was using for when I was using it turned off. I'm gonna use it the same way while the frame generation is turned on. Like I said, I'm on 1440p. Don't go crazy on me on the monitor because I know I still have the same monitor for 180 hertz. I'm just saving money so I could finally buy, like, I don't know, a 360 hertz monitor and stuff like that, probably for Christmas or next year. To be able to turn the frame generation on, this is one thing that you gotta know, that this option here, it is going to be grayed out if you don't have a car of a 40 series and up, like for example 4090, 4070, 4060. Now for AMD, it's a little bit different. I don't think they have a cap to it, they don't have a limit, so I think you could do it in any graphics card. Like I said, don't call me on that because right now the one that I'm using is 4090 and it works. To be able to turn this option on, what you want to do is go back to the Windows, and then you're gonna want to navigate to the Windows tab, and then here you want to put graphics. So once you're on graphics, you need to turn this option on. Hardware accelerated, you have to turn it on. If it is off, that option is not going to be there in the settings for the frame generation to be able to turn on. So this one has to be on. Reset your computer, then start up the game again, and then once you're in the game, then you should be able to turn it on. So let's just turn on Nvidia DLSS frame generation right now first, and then we're gonna test the AMD one. Now believe it or not, one of these two gives you way more FPS than the other one, and I don't know what's the reason for that. As you can see right now, it's turned on and it's giving me almost 80 plus FPS, because I remember I was getting like around 300 on the other one, and now here I'm getting about 380, almost 400 FPS. Now this is what I get with this one if I put it on, let's say 1080p, right? Look, see how high that thing goes? It's insane, bro. This is using the Nvidia frame generation one though. So right there, 400. It's almost pretty much 500. Damn, man, I can't even hide in peace. Oh my god, how did I even make it? Same thing on this part of the map. 480, 450, 460, 480. Now I'm about to change it from DLSS frame generation to, and I'm about to put AMD FSR. Watch this. Well, what's the difference on the FPS? It changes for some reason way higher than the other one. Look at this. Look at the FPS now. It's like 4 Let me see. It's like almost hitting 500. It's like 20 or 10 more than the other one. Now I gotta tell you is that he does move smoothly. Like you can actually feel it. He actually feels way faster than if you were using lower FPS. But yeah, when it comes to the input delay, I feel it on my controller, and it's like it's not pleasing. I noticed that even if you change around these options right here, it's kind of slightly the same, you know. So I'm gonna just keep it at Nvidia DLSS, and I'm gonna put this one to 1080p. Let's see how much we're gonna get now. Watch this. Look at this, bro. Oh my god, are you crazy? Yo, nah, this thing is just out of hand. This thing is out of pocket. So you notice how on Nvidia generation, even though I went down to 1080p, it was only giving me like 480 or so, something like that. Look at this one. This one is already surpassing 530. It's just staying pretty much on 530, 500, 540. And also it depends on the part of the map that you're on, which is crazy. So right now I'm getting about, you could see 370, 380, and what I have on right now is the Nvidia DLSS, the frame generation with the Nvidia DLSS. Okay, there you go. Take another look. This is on Resurgence Area 99. Now if I change it to AMD frame generation, so it's way higher. I just don't understand why though. I don't understand why if I'm not even on Nvidia, you know what I mean? Like I'm using a Nvidia GPU. I'm not on AMD. But for some reason it gives it way higher. Look at that, 450, 430, 400, 410, etc, etc. Now if I put this option right here, AMD FSR 3, let me see if it goes up even more. Nah, it pretty much stays here the same. Yeah, so when it comes to upscaling, it's like pretty much you could play around with it, but it's almost the same. You're not gonna, it's like you don't gain too much or too less. So let's say if I turn it off, let me see what happens. Oh wait, if you turn it off, you get less frames, huh? I didn't even notice that. You get way less frames, so might as well leave it on DLSS where you get even more. Let me see. There you go, at 400. Interesting. Right now I got it to 1440p, everything low. So if I turn it to 1080p, that's when this thing gets spicy. Let me see. Ooh, nah, crazy. That's crazy. 500. I'm on the same spot. Let me see, hold on. See, I don't know. It just gets, it's just the input delay gets like greater, bro. That's why, like, I'm about to tell you guys in a second. It's like the thing is that when you're aiming, like you could move fast and stuff, but when you're ADSing, it just feels slow, bro. Like the input delay just kicks in crazy. I got a friend that he plays on mouse and keyboard and he tried it and he said it's pretty good. Like he doesn't notice any input delay, which I'm like, wait, what? I guess so. At the end of the day, it's just pretty much up to you. Hold on. Oh, you thought you was gonna kill me, boy. Hold on. In a second. I'm about to show you a trick on see if you could at least reduce the input delay maybe while this is on, if you have to really use it. Even if I put it on AMD, like kind of match it with that one, I still get the same input delay, and it will be the same scenario if I have this one too. Nvidia DLSS frame generation with Nvidia DLSS, you still get the same input delay, you know, since it is fake frames generated by an AI. This is how much you get here. Multiplayer with the 1440p, and then DLSS frame generation with DLSS. So this is how much you're getting. 360, 350 or so. Now if we go and put the other one, the other option, watch this. So with AMD, you already know how it goes. It just shoots all the way up by like 80 more points than the Nvidia generation. So right now I'm getting 450, around there, 420 to 450 depending on the map, the part of the map. And then of course if we take it down to 1080p, this is what happens. It goes even higher. Boom. Oh my god. Yeah, like almost pretty much 500 or so. 550, 500, 490, 500. Jesus. It will be the same scenario if you're using the Nvidia frame generation and you put it down to 1080p. Yeah, you will still get more FPS as well, the same thing. Now, all I know is that with the AMD generation, you get even more frames than if you were to have the Nvidia one. Here's a tip on how you can tell if it is working or not. See how the FPS right now is 240 or so. Right now it's off, so if I turn it off, look how dramatically it changes. I'm gonna just put the AMD frame generation again. See, I'm back to the fire range, and as you can see, double up the FPS. So now it's 450, and this is at 1440 resolution. Now, worst case scenario, if you get to use the frame generation, however you're going to use it, one tip that I can give you as like a counter for the input delay that I'm getting on my controller, the best way that I could explain it right now, me shooting at the characters, it's like whenever the input delay that you get, it's like you're not gonna be able to go from one character to the other one as like snapping. Every time when I try to do it, I feel like when I'm about to snap on this character, I feel like I have to readjust my aim. Like I do like that. See, like I go 1, 2 to be able to get to the character. Like I want to be able to swipe and just be on the target, but I feel like the little input delay is just stops me from just flicking right to the character. You know what I mean? The counter for that, I would say just go to your settings, right? And go to your sensitivity multiplier and go to your ADS. So on your ADS, turn this up to like 1.10 or so, or 1.5. This is gonna let you swipe even faster once you are on ADS, because the movement itself is fine. The input delay is just more noticeable when you are aiming in. So with this type of ADS, I feel like I could just snipe even more. I mean, be on target from target even more, you know, as you can see right here. Look, boom, I go to this one, then I go to this one, then I go to that one. Obviously I'm not even used to it, but I bet if I will get used to it, then it's like it will be more doable. So yeah, that would be like a counter tip right there for the input delay, kind of. And also you gotta have your control overclocked as well, and like I said, just have all the low latency you can in your Nvidia program and stuff like that. Or you could just bump up your sensitivity a little bit higher too. If you play on 7.7, maybe play on 8.8. Like I said, this is only while using this frame generation. If you need to use it, worst case scenario, for any situation that you need it for. I'm showing you another trick that you can implement with that option for the people that are playing with Steam. So you could do this trick too. This is won't work. So first trick is like, since you see my FPS is 100, I already explained this on my other video. You want to go to the voice chat, and then you want to go to game chat or lobby, and you want to set it to friends and channels, and it's going to increase your FPS by like 80, I guess, depending on the system. But me, it went from 100 to 180, right? Now, if this is not enough, or if this trick does not work for you, this is what I was talking about. What you can do here is, this is in a scenario where you can turn on the frame generation, so you could bump it up a little bit more on Steam. So if I go and I click the AMD FSR, boom, turn it on. So now that we're back, see, now I have 300. See that? And this is on Steam. Now, like I keep saying it again, it might give you a lot of FPS, but it might come with a little input delay if you're using controller, or I'm pretty sure on mouse and keyboard too. So this is just up to you if you have to use it in worst case scenario and you just fed up with the low FPS. I guess in the meantime, until they fix it. Also guys, what I noticed from just switching from 1440p to 1080p, which I'm on right now, the input delay seems less noticeable. So I guess maybe if you're on 1080p, then you might not feel it as much, but I could guarantee you on 1440p, you feel it's more stronger. It's way more noticeable. I don't know why. In conclusion, if you want to use the frame generation, then go ahead, that's on you. But like I said, that's going to come with the same way that it comes with a lot of FPS. It's also going to introduce a little bit of input lag in whatever input you use. If there's any way that you can lower your input delay while using that, let me know in the comment below. But if you don't want to deal with no input delay or anything like that in any of your inputs, My best recommendation is, instead of using frame generation, then just upgrade your computer build, such as higher GPU, higher CPU, and a little bit of higher RAMs. That way you could get a decent amount of FPS and you have no input delay. And one last thing, guys, if it is not too much to ask, I'm really trying to grow on the streaming world. I would really appreciate if you hit a follow on my platform, which is Kick and Twitch. Kick is Take Notes and Twitch is Take Notes 9. I will leave the link on the description below. And if you ever want to play, come to my live stream and say what's up, and you could ask me any questions.